Hey gamers, welcome to my channel. This video is dedicated to both younger and older viewers, because older viewers will know and understand this video, the struggle that we need to do when you are younger, playing in the arcade machines, and younger for younger generations that now can play every game and buy any game just with one click, to understand what we have to do to play and how lucky they are with the easy access that you have to play games these days. By my voice you can tell I'm a dinosaur now. I'm 47. But when I was young, in the late 80s, early 90s, playing in the Spectrum and later in the Commodore Amiga and in the Sega Mega Drive, we can only dream having the arcade graphics and that quality at home. No computer or console would do that graphics, sound and gameplay. Please look at these examples. Sunset Riders, Punisher, Samurai Shodown, we also have some good ports, such as Street Fighter 2, but even those good ports were nowhere near as good as the arcade version. So I had to go with my childhood friends to the arcades. Our parents always gave us money to lunch at school, and we spent all the money in the arcades, and we always arrived home starving because we didn't lunch. Unfortunately, the arcades were poorly attempted, always with teenagers older than us, smoking, drinking or even high. So we have to choose carefully the hour we enter there, because sometimes older and bigger teenagers or groups larger than ours usually stole our money and beat us. Some of them even have knives, and more than once we leave the arcades without playing, with no money and with an empty stomach. The owners of the arcades weren't very kind either. I remember a day that me and my best friend Paulo were playing Final Fight, and we reached almost the last level with just one coin. And there was a big line wait for their turn to play, and the owner shut down the power panel, saying that it was an accident, and that way we lose our turn. And then he said that we almost reached the ending and give us only one coin, when we spent 2 coins to play in co-op. But we didn't care, we wanted to play those games, so we keep going there almost every week. My love for arcades is so big that when I bought my house 20 years ago, I bought this one that I still have and play to this day. And I even gave the arcade machine a different look a couple of years ago after my son born. That palm that you see in the arcade is from him when he was 2 years old. Now there are so many great games that I love and that I spend so many coins, yet as everything in life, I have my favorites that I keep me going to the arcades, spending coins. And I'm not going to tell you my favorite ones, but the ones that impressed me the most and helped my video passion that I still have today. So let's start. Do you see those gorgeous swimming pools? This huge water park was near my home here in Portugal. And me and my friends went there so many times to play Double Dragon. They have the original arcade machine, and that was the first arcade machine that I played in my life. Me and my friends catch up the bus to go there, and we are so smart, but so smart, that one time we spent all the money we had to the last penny playing Double Dragon, forgetting that we need money to catch the bus to go back home. Yeah, we were very smart back then. So we have to ask the owner, we have to beg the owner to let us make a phone call to my dad for him to come pick us up. Fortunately, the owner said yes. We had already spent so much money on the arcade machines that he was more than happy to help us. We always played in co-op and we love it, although we played so well, but so well that we always lose in this part. we couldn't do this jump. Yeah, you were dumb kids. Fortunately now, kids are much smarter. We never finished the game, we only finished it many years later in the Commodore Amiga and in the Sega Mega Drive. Today is a very outdated game, but the series continued through time, releasing some of the best side-scrolling beat-em-ups such as Double Dragon Advance, Neon and Gaiden. Final Fight. Final Fight was a big love that I have and one of the games that made me a gamer. I don't know how many versions I bought of this game. I have it for the PlayStation 3 in the Final Fight Double Impact, for the Switch in Capcom Beaten Ups bundle, Final Fight 1 for the Game Boy Advance, in PC in Capcom Arcade Stadiums, for the Mega CD and of course in my arcade machine. I love the three main characters and all the bosses. And I was very happy to see a couple of years later Final Fight characters in the Street Fighter series. Just as Double Dragon, I always played in co-op. I played with Cody and my best friend Paulo with Guy. And we played so many times that we reached the Bay Area with just one coin. This is a game that is hard to find a flaw. Great music, great gameplay, great graphics, great characters, and it's a game that aged very well. Even today, more than 35 years after the release, we can pick this game and have as much fun as we had back in the day. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. The first time I saw this game, it was a huge update from Final Fight. We had more enemies on the screen, 4 characters to choose, better animations, faster gameplay, more moves, and we could run. I didn't know that this game comes from an animated series. I only saw the series many years later. The series was cool, but the game is outstanding. Contrary to Final Fight, we fight dinosaurs and monsters, we drive a Cadillacs in the 3rd level, running over the enemies, and contrary to Final Fight, we can play in 3-player co-op. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. Masters of the Universe and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were the best cartoons in the 80s. By the way, do you know that next year we are going to have a Masters of the Universe beaten up that looks great? 80s cartoons are back, with Shredder's Revenge, G.I. Joe, Power Rangers. What's next? Thundercats? Centurions? We'll see. About this arcade game, as you can see, the graphics and enemies are exactly like the 80s cartoon. Honestly, I only played this game in the arcades a few years later, a few times. But me and my friends played this game so many times, both in the Commodore Amiga and in the Spectrum. We can play in 4-player co-op, and although all the turtles have the same moves and the gameplay is a little rusty, we don't give a fuck. We all love ninjas and the turtles, and we have a blast beating up the Foot Clan, Bebop, Rocksteady, among others. And even today, after the release of Turtles in Time and Shredder's Revenge, that are both better games, I love to play this game in the arcade machine and in the Cowabunga collection. Shinobi and Shadow Dancers. More ninjas. I don't remember that well which of these two games I played first. For my previous videos you can easily see that I love the Shinobi series, and I remember now how shocked I was to see that we didn't have a life bar. We lose with a single hit, and losing 3 lives means losing 1 coin. Unfortunately, I was never that good playing these games. Only later in the Commodore Amiga I finished it. Both games are very similar. In Shinobi we capture hostage, and in Shadow Dancer we pick up bombs. In Shadow Dancer the gameplay is a little more refined, especially in the jumps, and we have better animations. We also have a dog that helps us in our way. Besides that, the magics, the level design, the bosses, we can see many resemblances. It was with these two games that the love from the series began. I finished almost all Shinobi games, being Revenge of Shinobi and Shinobi 3 still today one of my all-time favorite games, and I bought Art of Vengeance day 1. Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. When Mortal Kombat was released, it was mind-blowing. No one ever seen graphics like this. The digital graphics with real actors, the fatalities in the end of the final round, the unique cast, the sub-boss Goro, a huge Shokan with 4 arms, and the final boss that can transform in any character in the game. Everything was new. And 1 year later, with the release of Mortal Kombat 2, the hype was even bigger. 12 playable characters instead of 7 of the first game, better graphics, more stages, 3 pit fatalities instead of 1, more moves, more special moves, fatalities, and refined gameplay. Make this game a must play for any arcade player. Unfortunately, I barely see this game near my home. But fortunately, both games have good ports for the Sega Mega Drive and the Super NES, and later for the Mega CD and the 32X. Today, although both games are a little outdated because they don't have combos, Mortal Kombat 2 is still, in my opinion, the best Mortal Kombat game ever made. Street Fighter 2. This is the most obvious one. Street Fighter is much more than just a video game for me. I participate and help organize tournaments here in Portugal. I made so many good friends. I meet the greatest Street Fighter player that ever lived, Daigo the Beast Umehara. And we even take this picture. I'm the ugly one on the right. At the time of the release in the arcades, Street Fighter completely made gamers ignore other games. Everybody only played Street Fighter. We wanted to know how to do all the special moves, sing all the endings, and of course playing against each other. Selecting 8 characters, seeing the endings for the first time, it was like anything else. It was a game that completely marked my journey as a player. I have more than 3000 hours of gameplay in Street Fighter 4, and I always say, The Legend of Zelda is my favorite series, because Street Fighter is much more than just a game. So that's it, gamers. These are some of the arcade games that mark my childhood. Please tell me in the comments, did you play arcade games when you were a kid? As always, I hope you liked this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.
Round 1, fight!